We know from the teachings of Prophet Muhammad and multiple authentic hadiths that it is completely forbidden to kill children, babies, young people, women, monks, priests, anyone who is not part of an army that is in conflict with you. It is completely unaccepted in Islam to kill any innocent people to be ruled over by the white man, according to the KKK. It's not a bollocks, but that's what they say, yeah? So when you get some incensed Muslim who commits an atrocity on our grounds, because he is incensed by our boiling shit out of their countries, and you come along to Muslims here and say, well, your Muhammad would have supported that. I say, you don't know anything about Islam or human beings, or politics, or what we're doing.
كن سعيدا كن فريدا عش بفخر في الحياة لا تبالي فالمعالي بالتحدي لا سواه كن سعيدا
All right, okay.
Show me where in the Quran.
So God told
today.
Muhammad in a revelation to kill. Is that better? Is that better? Right. Okay. Is there any verses in the Quran?
Are you a Christian?
Can you not record?
I record them. Are you a Christian, by the way?
Yes, I am. I just want to know: are there any verses in the Quran? I know there is because I've read them. This guy says they're not in there. That says kill the disbelievers. Just a yes or no answer.
But I'm not going to give a yes or no answer.
You're not. You never do. You never do because the answer is yes.
Can I answer the question my own way, or are you going to dictate terms?
No, the answer is yes.
No, it's not. No, you can't tell me what to answer your question with. If you're going to treat me as a human being instead of a creation of your sphere.
If you ask me a question,
no, I'm not recording him. I'm recording him.
Answer.
All right, let me ask you a question. When did you stop beating your wife?
Sorry.
When did you stop beating your wife? Seriously?
It's ridiculous.
Exactly. It's a ridiculous question.
Why can't you answer the question? Because it's like
Will you let me answer it my own way? No, it's not.
It is.
Well, you give me the answer to say that.
It is a yes or no answer.
It's not.
Is there verses in the Quran, and this is what you do all the time.
Will you let me answer it my own way?
And then all of a sudden you'll come to the Bible and the Old Testament and everything else. I'm asking one simple question.
Will you let me answer it my own way?
I'd like you to answer it yes or no.
I can't do that.
I know you can't. I know you can't because the answer is yes.
No, it's no. Right, if I have to, let me answer the question my own way. And don't interrupt me, I know you want to. If you take certain verses out of context, like you can do it with the Bible, there are injunctions in the Bible to kill children. It says kill women, children and babies in 1 Samuel 15, for example. And then you say, does the Bible say that we should kill babies? And is it yes or no? Well, the answer is yes, because it says so in the Bible. Now that's a silly argument. Now, you've got to understand that the Quran was revealed over a period of 20 to 30 years or so, and in the later part of its revelation, permission was given to the Muslim community to fight those who had.
Don't believe in the last day or Allah.
I haven't finished.
To believe not in Allah or the last day, is that right?
You put words in my mouth.
Well, that's what the Quran says. I've read it.
Well, let me finish. The Quran says there came a time in the early community where they had not been permitted to to resist physically at all. The persecution and the attacks and the killings and the torture that have been put upon the early Muslim community, including people like Bilal, who I'm named after, who was tortured because he kept on saying God is one. He wasn't a polytheist. There came a time when God permitted the Muslim community to fight back. But, and the caveat is there, it says, but do not go to excess. Only fight those who fight you. And God does not like the aggressor. You cannot just start, if you're going to take a verse in the Quran, you've got to take all the verses in the Quran. You can't cherry pick out of context. I can do that in the Bible. I can say to you, is there a verse in the Bible that says there is no God? Yes or no? There is a verse in the Bible that says there is no God. Am I therefore to conclude the Bible is a book of atheism? No, because I'm cherry picking. You've got to take all of the verses of the Quran and this is...
Where does it say there's no God in the Bible?
In one of the Psalms. It says the fool. It says the fool says in his heart there is no God.
Oh yeah, it does.
But I'm cherry picking. Yeah, because you can cherry pick.
What a silly argument. The fool says in his heart there's no God, which means there is a God. But you're turning it around completely on its face.
I'm trying to illustrate that cherry picking is a dangerous thing to do. You distort the scriptures. Now, it's something that Christians often forget when it comes to the Quran. We Muslims don't just believe in the Quran alone. We believe in the Prophet Muhammad. We read the Quran through the lens of the Prophet Muhammad. And what that means is we read it through the lens of his teaching, his behaviour, his yeses and nos, his commandments and so on. If you're going to be abusive, I'm just going to walk.
If you judge it by his behaviour,
If you're going to be abusive, I'm going to walk. So try and okay. I've agreed to debate to discuss with you.
I'm just saying, if you're judging it by morals, Muhammad's actions, you're in trouble.
No, I'm actually on very safe ground. Let me give an example. Let's talk, for example, about the Manchester terrorist attack that happened last week, I think it was. We know from the teachings of Prophet Muhammad and multiple authentic hadiths that it is completely forbidden to kill children, babies, young people, women, monks, priests, anyone who is not part of an army that is in conflict with you. It is completely unaccepted in Islam to kill any innocent people. This evidence is so multiply attested in so many sources as to be beyond dispute. So when people claim in the name of their religion, so what happened in Manchester, and the guy, I think there is a connection between what happened in Manchester and what we're doing when we're bombing the shit out of the Middle East. We're bombing Iraq, we're bombing Syria, we're killing countless women and children. Just 2 days ago in The Independent, it said that hundreds of civilians have been killed that day in Mosul, in Iraq, innocent women and children. Some people are going to get so angry and so incensed by what we're doing in these countries, they're coming over here and they do the same shit to us. It's called blowback or quid pro quo. Now, there's nothing Islamic about it. They may call themselves Muslims, but hey, the Ku Klux Klan call themselves Christians. That's why they burn crosses, to broadcast the cross of Jesus to the Negro. They call themselves Christians. Do you say, well, they've got to be Christians? They call themselves Christians. They may attack people. Of course they're Christians. They say, look at the Bible. Genesis chapter 6, where it talks about the sons of Ham. We can get to a different story, who those sons of Ham are. They're the black slaves who are to be ruled over by the white man, according to the KKK. It's not a bollocks, but that's what they say. Yeah. So when you get some incensed Muslim who commits an atrocity on our grounds, because he is incensed by our bombing the shit out of their countries, and you come along to Muslims here and say, well, your Muhammad would have supported that. I say, you don't know anything about Islam at all, or human beings, or politics, or what we're doing in the world.
And the people that are actually doing it were saying, you know nothing about Islam.
They could say that.
Well, that's what they would say. These people that hold up the Quran as they do these acts will say, you know, you've got it wrong.
Have you noticed these people in France, in Germany, in Britain now? Have you noticed their background? They're all criminals. They've got a criminal record as long as my arm. They're drug pushers. They're alcoholics. They are people who sell drugs. He was drinking, smoking. He was involved with drugs as well. They all were. The guy who was hanging around in gay bars, drinking alcohol, picking up men. Now, what these so-called Muslims need is more Islam, not less. They need to take the Prophet Muhammad's teaching with utmost seriousness, not follow it, because Muhammad said clearly, do not harm these people. These people are going straight to hell, straight to hell. Yeah, that's the teaching of Islam. So these idiots who are drug pushers, petty criminals, who are, they're not pious people. They're not people who've read the Quran and studied it in Arabic, who pray 5 times a day, who fast in Ramadan, who are good to their parents. These are criminals who want their moment of glory by killing people. They're sickos. They're not following Islam. Okay. So what's your response?
I don't agree. That's
fine. Excellent. Well, can you give me can you show me why, from the evidence, what have I said that's wrong? Anything I said is wrong.
I did tell you there's an agenda there.
I haven't got no agenda. I promise you I have no agenda. I'll come into the night.
When you take them out of context,
Yeah. So can you give me can you respond with actual reasons why what I've said is wrong about the Hadith or the Quran
all around the world.
Okay.
And for countless, every day.
Countless what?
They're not all drunks, they're not all alcoholics, they're not all drug dealers.
The terrorists in the West tend to be, actually, seriously. The people in Paris, the 9/11 guys, do you know, we discovered the 9/11 guys, some of them were going down in the strip in Las Vegas, and they were visiting prostitutes, they were gambling, they were drinking, before they went on the mission, the 9/11 mission. These are not good Muslims. These are, whatever they are, they're not following the Prophet Muhammad, they're not following the teachings of Islam. If they would never do that.
I don't know that.
case.
Sorry, just a second. Sorry.
Look, if we kill 20 people in US or Britain
I know.
or in Western, they're gonna say, oh, all the Muslims are terrorists. Look, US every day kill 200.
I've already mentioned this. Yeah, you're right.
Nobody tell them what they doing. They say, oh, terrorists. Why you killing?
I agree.
Why you killing a civilian? You saying terrorists?
I've already mentioned this, brother. I've already mentioned this to him.
There should be a
It will
plan.
piss off some. If some people are mentally unstable, it will really upset them, and they'll go out and lash out. And they shouldn't do that because that's not the teaching of Islam. But remember, how many people died in Iraq because of our invasion of Iraq? It's about 500,000 people, innocent men and Muslim and women who died because of our illegal invasion by the Christian Tony Blair and by the Christian George Bush, who said that he prayed to his God about this. They invaded and slaughtered. And you wonder why. There was no Al-Qaeda in Iraq before. They didn't exist. But now we have Al-Qaeda in Iraq, we have ISIS, because we destroyed that country. We disbanded the army, we destabilized the state, and out of this came ISIS. We were directly responsible for the conditions that led to the creation of ISIS. Do you know who's in ISIS? It's the Iraqi intelligence officers, the Iraqi lieutenants in the army. It's the backbone of they are viciously now attacking the West. We created this monster, not deliberately, but we created it.
I agree with you.
Let me blame Islam and Muslims.
I agree with your argument. The only problem I have with your argument and walking around listening here is there's no outright condemnation of these kind of
Yes, there is.
No, not from Muslim countries.
Yes, there is.
No, there's not.
No, there is. With respect, you're talking
There seems to be a lot of support.
Everyone condemns it. Muslims in this country have condemned it. The Muslim Council of Britain condemned it several days ago. I don't know any Muslim I've ever met who's not. I've already condemned it. Everyone's condemned it. Are you a Muslim? Are you a Muslim? Do you condemn it? You don't condemn. I'm talking about attacking Manchester. The attack on Manchester. Do you condemn it? Of course you do. I mean, it's an insulting question. It's an insulting question, brother. It's an insulting question because
It's not an insulting question. You call this man stone cold because the truth came out of his mouth.
well, he condemned it. He condemned
No, he's
it.
not condemning.
He did condemn it.
No, he's not condemning it.
Brother, he's saying you don't condemn it. Do you condemn the terrorist attack?
I don't know what's condemning you.
Okay, did you say okay? It's a language thing. Do you think it's wrong for a man to blow up women and children?
If you have an enemy, I wouldn't kill him. I wouldn't do that.
Right, he wouldn't do it. Yeah, he wouldn't do it. He says it's wrong. His English is not very good, so do you need to have?
I'm not a Muslim, but I agree with your arguments. I think we've created this shit.
Yes.
We've created this shit, and it is a blowback.
Just blowback.
I totally agree.
Absolutely.
With you.
Most people in this country
I'm a
do.
South African, and I've seen what the colonialists did to Africa, and I've seen what they've done to the Middle East, and now they're suffering this whole thing. However, I don't see these violent acts and I agree with you. The collection, these guys send in the drones, they kill wedding parties, they kill hundreds of people, and there's no condemnation. However, when they go and kill kids in Manchester, I don't see that outrage from guys. I mean, I've been listening to a whole bunch of arguments. There's not that outrage, and
There is that outrage.
There should be outrage.
There is the outrage.
I don't see it.
But it is there. Take my word for it.
No, I'm not taking your word for it.
You see, let me respond to this. You see, it is outrageous that when someone in some part of the world commits a criminal act, then you should think that everyone else must somehow apologise for
I'm
it.
offended.
No,
by
that's wrong. That's wrong.
CIA, by the British.
Hang on a second.
Totally offended
Well, when
by it.
Christian leaders in the West, like Tony Blair,
I'm
or
not a
like
Christian.
excuse me, let me finish. When Christian leaders in the West, like George W. Bush or Tony Blair, who were openly Christian, when they bomb the shit out of Muslim countries, excuse me, let me finish. I don't go around Christians in my local church saying, Mr. Vicar, I want you to condemn what your fellow Christian George W. Bush in another part of the world has done. I don't go to the Pope and say, look, Pope, I insist you condemn it. This is outrageous. We don't think like that. No one does that. But when it comes to Muslims, somehow we're personally involved and personally responsible for what a nutter, a terrorist does. I'm sorry, we don't have to apologise. It is nothing to do. It is nothing to do with me at all. And it is offensive for you to even suggest that I should get outraged. I was outraged, by the way, that I should somehow condemn it. Why should I condemn a terrorist outrage? Of course I condemn it. Everyone condemns it. But you're picking on Muslims. Yes, you are.
No, I hear. Well, there seems to be a predominance of Muslims here, and I see it.
So, do you get the point here? It is offensive and inappropriate to ask Muslims to apologise for a crime that violates every tenet of their religion. Why should we apologise for
I
it?
ask people on this planet, including Jews, Christians, Muslims, anybody.
Well, you ask them to apologise, do you?
Just because of humanity.
No, you don't. It's Muslims who are picked on. Only Muslims.
Well, that's what you say.
It's true, it's true. Just the other day, America acknowledged killing 105 civilians in Mosul, trying to get 2 snipers. But what was the reaction? It was probably a side note in the newspaper.
Exactly.
Nothing. And that is the biggest hypocrisy. And then as soon as a few people are killed...
Well, we're not going to ask
The
you
value,
to
the
condemn
value of
that.
life of Europeans and Americans are different value in this planet. Anybody that comes from the Middle East or Africa, then you have no value. No value to life. I agree with you. I'm on the same side as you. Here we are.
Okay, but the thing, I don't look. That's not the problem. The problem is though, it's the reaction to these things. It comes and
I want everybody to be outraged by it.
But the thing
including
is,
this guy.
yeah, but people
Who doesn't seem to be outraged.
Well, I think you're being very arrogant and you're behaving inappropriately.
No, but he's trying to be.
I think you're behaving
You're not able to hold an argument.
inappropriately.